how's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at all the Blu-rays and DVDs I bought for January 2024. This year this month rather, I only got 11 things, which isn't a huge haul for me, in part because I did get kinda sick. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice in some of my reviews for this month. But also, man, it was just cold and depressing, and I didn't wind up going out too much this month. Whatever. Don't like the winter. But also, really, 11 isn't too bad. I already have a ton of DVDs. I should try to limit myself to a dozen, probably, but whatever. There's some interesting stuff in this haul, and like 5 of them are Blu-rays, which is pretty cool. And there's a lot of, if you know me, horror movies, but fun, weird stuff, and not just the new releases. I like to dig through the used movie store. So if you guys want to see what I got, I'll switch over, show you guys all the items, some cool stuff. So without further ado, let's go and switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at the movies I got in January 2024. And let's start off with some Blu-rays, and right off the bat, really excited to pick up The Requiem. If you guys know this channel, you know that during the summer I do Sharks of Summer, where I take a look at least one shark movie a week, and in turn I'm always looking to stock up on shark movies so that I'll have more for the summer. And this one is one of the bigger ones. I'm surprised I haven't seen it yet. I think it even got a sequel, but found it used on Blu-ray. I think this was only $5 or so. That's pretty cool. Flip it to the back and it talks about how there's this couple on vacation. I think they have a little beach house that I think is built out onto the pier. They get swept away in a storm, and there's a bunch of great white sharks, and they're floating on this tiny little bit of debris. Sounds really fun. Can't wait to watch it. Inner is the same as the cardboard sleeve, and the disc is just blue. Oh well. Anyway, after that we have another Blu-ray, an anime movie that I'm really excited to pick up, and that is Cowboy Bebop the movie. Cowboy Bebop the series is an absolute classic, and I remember the movie being pretty good as well. I actually, back when I first watched this, I saw the movie first. I don't know, I was young and dumb, and I think I thought you were supposed to see them that way. But I remember really liking it, but I got the movie from the library, and in turn I didn't actually own a copy. I'm getting kind of back into anime recently, so glad to find this in my used movie store. Although that being said, this little clasp has broken and won't close all the way. Yay. Hate these clasp things. These little clickers up here and here do a good enough job. Anyway, that's beside the point. The movie talks about how days before Halloween, there's this big dramatic killing of a bunch of people, and in turn there's going to be a really big bounty on this guy's head, so Spike and the crew go after him, but he turns out to be way tougher than they meant. Halloween. I don't really remember the movie being super Halloween-y, but maybe. It has been years since I saw this. Anyway, disc is the same as the front, with the characters moved over. Image Entertainment. Anyway, after that, we have another Blu-ray, and it's from Vinegar Syndrome. Vinegar Syndrome, I really do like. They're a boutique Blu-ray label, but they tend to go in and find these really good but pretty obscure movies, and they're not afraid to go a little grungier than the other labels. And this is The Laughing Dead, when we get big monsters and skulls and, what are they, ghosts or zombies? A woman ripping her heart out? That's pretty nuts. I do like it. Anyway, flip it to the back and it talks about how there's a Thai filmmaker, and he moved to Mexico, so in turn this movie has both Mexican and Thai tropes in it, so that's pretty cool. And it talks about how there's a cult and there's something to do with an exorcism and opening the gates of hell. Sounds pretty crazy. Let me crack this open off screen and get my finger in the right place, because the Blu-ray is not the censored image of that drawing, so you open it up and you get a little bit of a surprise. And there's the reversible cover art. Don't like the B-side cover near as much, but I can always appreciate having an option. So anyway, a new Vinegar Syndrome release. That's pretty fun. Anyway, after that, going into some DVDs, we have a Shudder release. I'm super glad that Shudder puts out their stuff on physical media. I always try to grab them up whenever I see them at Walmart. And this one's entitled The Puppet Man. It's got this really good classic case there. Look at that poster. Hanging by these red strings with a bloody knife. Strung along from hell. Red glow. Yeah, that's a cool cover. I had to get it. Flip it to the back and it talks about how there's this guy and he's in prison and he's using like some sort of magical mind control to puppeteer people around and kill more people. That's a fun concept. And to be honest, I as a filmmaker, I had an idea for a mind control slasher. I'm gonna have to watch this and hope that they didn't beat me to the punch, because that was a movie I was really wanting to make. But then again, how many new ideas are under the sun, right? Anyway, inner cover's the same as the slip, disc is the same, and we get an ad for AMC Plus. Yeah, Shudder is part of AMC along with all this other stuff, and they bundle it together, which I guess is nice. You get more content there. But anyway, that's Puppet Man. That's this month's Shudder release. And moving along to a movie from Code Red, and that is Ghost Keeper. And this is a haunted hotel, well, I don't know if haunted's the right word, but it's a hotel horror movie, and it's a hotel up on the ski slope, so it's also a snow movie. Some teens wander in there, but there's of course an evil secret. And this is the 30th anniversary edition, so yeah, I picked this up on kind of a whim. I wanted to watch a snowy horror movie when it was the cold months, and yeah, this was pretty good and atmospheric. This old lady character, she was really fun, and it was basically a case of they wanted to do a whole lot, but these were young filmmakers with next to no budget, and in turn they had to get creative, and they had to pull atmosphere out of it. This is such a good old hotel in the middle of the snow. They drench that atmosphere in there, and it's done so good. I've obviously already seen this, and I do have a review for it up, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, the disc is kind of this joke. Basically, one of the film's VHS releases, this was the cover, and there's no chicken monster in the movie. There's no Aztec temple in the movie. Everybody wonders, why did they put this as the cover? I guess trying to make the movie seem cheesier and more over the top than it really was. Kinda sucks that it doesn't represent the movie at all. More of a atmospheric film, and we get this as the VHS cover. Code Red, I guess, has a sense of humor and decided to preserve this image somewhere. So you open it up, you get that image, you're like, what the heck am I watching? But it's not that. It's much more this. Anyway, after that, you guys know I love found footage movies. I have a found footage horror movie. This is Willow Creek, written and directed by the comedian Bobcat Goldthwait. And, yeah, talk about genres, you know, like horror, and then there's subgenres like found footage. But then there's subgenres, and found footage Bigfoot horror. Actually, more of that than you think. Maybe I'll start collecting them. But anyway, this was a pretty fun movie. There's, if you flip it to the back, I think this is from the famous shot. There's a really prolonged sequence. I think it's a over 10-minute long unbroken take of them waking up in the middle of the night to something outside of their tent. It's pretty cool. It's a little Blair Witch-esque with them going into the town, investigating Bigfoot, and then going in. And that being said, I thought it was pretty good. Not the best thing ever, although this does have a cult following. And then there's this weird plot element at the end that I don't know why they decided to put it in there. But overall, I think it's a pretty fun found footage movie. Again, going for that Blair Witch style. Disc is the same as the front. And I do love this image of the skull with the hikers making the Bigfoot foot. I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, moving along, I do have a film from this Tartan Asian Extreme line. I really love Asian horror, and Tartan has put out a lot. This is The Victim, the biggest Thai horror film of the year. And yeah, a Thai director here, Thai director for Laughing Dead. I like this cover. with the hands going over the face. And actually, if we open it up, we get the chapter selections out. I love how it still has the paper. More hands. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Anyway, the story of this one is it's about this actress, and the police hire this actress in order to reenact crimes so they can understand them better. But when she does that, she gets some sort of supernatural interference that starts to torment her, and I think it somehow connects her to the actual killer. An interesting idea, a little bit Eyes of Laura Mars there, so, or at least that's what it, that's what it reminds me of, but it's probably completely different. Anyway, Tartan Asian Extreme, done a lot of cool stuff. Can't wait to watch this one. Anyway, after that, I have a double pack, 2 films from Ruben Galdino Jr., and that is this Crypt of Terror collection with Cemetery of Terror and Grave Robbers. I already saw Grave Robbers. Let me tell you, that was the kind of film that you hope for when you're looking for a cheesy 80s movie. A ton of kills, a ton of big, over-the-top, crazy moments, and the killer in that one is just plowing through people, let me tell you. I did a review for it. It was fun. If you want a cheesy movie, that's great. But anyway, you flip it to the back and you look at the plots, and they both seem to be killer gets resurrected and goes on a killing spree. Grave Robbers, the one I saw, it's like the church stops this guy from killing a woman in an evil ritual. They put an axe in his chest to keep him down, and the grave robbers pull the axe out and he goes on a killing spree. And then you get Cemetery of Terror, which sounds like it's actually a Halloween movie, so I'll have to watch this closer to October. But basically, teenagers do a black mass as kind of a joke, but they accidentally do resurrect this evil cultist, and they're partying next door, trick-or-treaters show up, and then the killer shows up. Okay, they do sound a little bit similar, but if this movie is anywhere near as good as this one, let me tell you, I cannot wait for it, but I'll probably watch it closer to Halloween. Anyway, the disc is just a flipper disc there, so nothing super special, but at least each movie got its own side. Anyway, after that, moving on to the clearance movies, my local used media shop has a clearance cart, and I was able to get all 3 of these next movies for just $2 a piece, which is pretty great. And we have Blood Shack, which features a comedy commentary from Joe Bob Briggs. And we get this guy with a machete, appropriately known as Chopper. Flip it to the back, and it talks about how there's a Native American spirit that doesn't like when people trespass on his land, and a young woman inherits the estate. She has farmhands, and they're apparently going to get picked off. And this, it's put out by Shriek Show, who's released a ton of good movies, but they make jokes in here like, will she survive long enough to prance around in her favorite tight jeans? So apparently they're being kind of jokey. This is probably pretty goofy, and we do have a comedy commentary track. So yeah, probably a cheesy movie, which is what I really do like. And there's the inner bits. Anyway, after that we have 2 Blu-rays that I got on clearance. Kind of surprised to find both of these, especially only for $2 each. But the first one is a George Lucas movie, and that is American Graffiti, the special edition. This movie I saw probably when I was too young to really get it. I remember they're kind of cruising around in their cars in the 50s, and we even have Ron Howard there, very much trying to capture the time. That being said, though, I'm glad I found it for $2 because it's something that I'm kind of interested in because I really like Star Wars and I get curious about Lucas's other stuff. But yeah, this again is kind of outside my wheelhouse, so I'm glad to get it on clearance. Anyway, there's the record for the disc there, which I think is a really fun and appropriate design. Anyway, after that, one more movie. And again, another one that's kind of outside my wheelhouse, so I was glad to get it for $2. But this is actually pretty new, and I'm surprised I was able to find a movie this new for only $2. and that is Jennifer Lawrence in No Hard Feelings. I saw this on streaming. It was actually a lot funnier than I thought it would be. Really a flashback to those old school comedy movies where they would, get a little darker and stuff. And I think this was actually pretty funny. So I'm not the biggest comedy guy, but for $2, yeah, glad to pick it up. Flip it to the back, we get some more images. Basically, the parents pay her to date their nerdy kid that won't step outside of his shell, and she's, of course, like a crazy party girl. And I do love the disc. Is a unique image of her trying to get up the stairs on her roller skates. But yeah, this movie is pretty new. I'm surprised they were selling it for just $2, but had to grab it up for that price. And hey, let me expand my comedies, right? But anyway, there's the haul for January. Not bad, 11 items, that's pretty cool. We got a Vinegar Syndrome, we got a Tartan Asian Extreme, we got a Shudder, Shriek Show, a found footage movie. Yeah, lots of fun stuff, and plus 5 of them are Blu-ray, that's pretty cool. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my monthly movie hauls playlist. I've done this for over a year, so if you like this and want to spend some time doing this, there's a bunch there. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.